Hey team! All right, so you did your do now, and a reminder that your homework for the weekend is to work on log number 4. And as usual, you can pick any response that you want. So today we're going to be talking about how people respond to change in part 3 of the metamorphosis, part 3 particularly, okay? And I'll walk you through how we're going to discuss that. But our whole unit is kind of about how we react to change. So we want to make sure that we pause and we take a second and we look at what's actually happening in the story. All right, so we're going to look at part 3 particularly, and we're going to look at a couple of things. So the changes we're going to look at are the changes to their family's lifestyle. And then the reactions we're looking at is how they're reacting to those changes. So you might need to identify at some points that the dad is doing one thing, the sister is doing another, the mom is doing a third thing, right? You might really have to differentiate that. And you might also find yourself like talking about some things that happened in parts 1 and 2 because those changes have carried on into part 3. That's totally okay. All right. So on your worksheet, it looks like, oh, you know what? I don't have it up, but that's fine because I have it on your PowerPoint. So on your worksheet, you're going to see a table like this, right? And we're going to do the first one together. So the first change that we're going to talk about is that Gregor has been injured and he cannot move as a result of his injuries. So you can go ahead and type that in your version right now. If you didn't have it up and ready to go, just pause the video. Okay, so Gregor can't move as a result of his injuries, and we want to talk about how his family reacts to that change. So before I put up what I said, I want to give you a minute to kind of brainstorm and try to answer that for yourself. Okay, if you need more time, pause the video here. I'm going to go ahead and put my answer up. So Gregor can't move because he's been injured. And I put that there are 2 reactions. So the way that Gregor reacts is that he stays in place and he watches his family. And then his family all kind of did the same thing, so I put them together. They reacted by trying to be really patient with him, and they started leaving the door open so that he could watch them. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to go forward on your own and you're going to identify some of the changes that happen in part 3. So they might be, again, they're changes in their way of life. So things that they're doing now that they weren't doing before, or things that they were not doing before that they're doing now. And it's not going to be just Gregor, right? The change might happen to Greet, his sister. It might have happened to his dad. Okay, so you don't need to focus just on Gregor. You can kind of broaden your perspective to cover everybody else. If you have questions, make sure that you text me and let me know.